Guys, you don't even realize it, but women are watching everything. Not just what you say, but how you move, where your eyes linger, even the tiny gestures you don't think twice about. And here's the secret. Some of those little quirks, they're way more attractive than you'd ever guess. I'm talking about the kind of subtle moves that make us lean in, feel that spark, and think, what is it about this guy? Today we're breaking down 9 understated gestures that drive women wild, even if you don't know you're doing them. And once you know them, you'll never see interactions the same way again. Number 9, the slow head tilt. You'd never think about it, but a slight head tilt when you're listening or holding eye contact makes us feel like you're fully present. It's not just curiosity, it reads as openness. A grounded man who's leaning in just a bit with relaxed body language, we instinctively trust that. Here's what's happening in our brains. That head tilt mimics the same gesture babies use to show attentiveness. It triggers what researchers call the caregiver response. We subconsciously read you as emotionally intelligent and safe. But here's the kicker. It also makes you look like you're studying us, like we're worth figuring out. Psychologists call this a rapport gesture. It shows you're engaged without looking needy. And it's ridiculously attractive because it creates a safe, intimate space for the conversation. Think about it. When's the last time someone really listened to you like that? Yeah, we remember those moments. Number 8, the one eyebrow raise. This one is pure magic. That quick, teasing lift of one brow when we say something bold, it's playful dominance. Like you're saying, really? You going there? Without a word. The single eyebrow raise is what body language experts call a micro challenge. It's just enough skepticism to create tension, but delivered with enough humor that we don't feel judged. It's the facial expression equivalent of a verbal sparring match, and women love a good mental joust. Robert Greene writes about this in The Art of Seduction. Micro-expressions create intrigue because they hint at mystery and a deeper emotional world. When you raise that eyebrow, you're essentially saying, I see what you're doing and I'm not easily impressed. That's confidence gold. A well-timed eyebrow raise, it's part flirtation, part challenge, and it makes us want to keep talking just to see that look again. Fair warning though, timing is everything. Do it too often, and you'll look like you're having facial spasms. Number 7, the calm lean in. Leaning in slowly when we speak, not lunging or crowding, is one of those subconscious signals that you're tuned in and confident in your space. It creates this pocket of intimacy, like the world just faded out for a moment. The science behind this is fascinating. When someone leans toward us, our brain releases a small hit of oxytocin, the same hormone involved in bonding. But here's the catch. It only works when the movement feels natural and unhurried. Rush it, and you trigger our fight or flight response instead. Body language experts say the difference between creepy and magnetic is all about pacing. When you lean in calmly, you make us feel chosen, not cornered. It's like you're creating a VIP section in a crowded room, and we just got the invite. I've seen guys blow this by leaning in too fast or getting too close. The sweet spot? About 2 inches closer than normal conversation distance, and only when we're already engaged in what you're saying. Number 6, the jaw or chin touch. Ever notice how men touch their jawline or chin when they're deep in thought? We notice too. There's something about that subtle self-touch, especially when paired with eye contact, that reads as contemplative and self-possessed. It's like watching someone solve a puzzle, and somehow that makes us want to be part of the solution. Evolutionary psychologists have a field day with this gesture. The jaw touch draws attention to one of the most masculine features on the male face. It's subconscious advertising at its finest. Plus, it suggests you're comfortable in your own skin, literally. In Atomic Attraction, Camel notes that these gestures often make men look more masculine and grounded, triggering our primal association with strength. But here's what's really happening. You're showing us your thought process without saying a word. It's intellectual foreplay. Quick pause. I'm seeing tons of comments asking, but how do I know if these are actually working on her? Look, I get it. You perfect the eyebrow raise, nail the space-claiming gesture, but you're still second-guessing her reactions. That's exactly why I created the 25 Forbidden Signals She's Secretly Into You breakdown. It reveals the micro-responses we give off when we're hooked, like the specific lip bite that means keep going, or the eye contact pattern that screams interest. Real examples: instant recognition. Grab it below before we hit number 5, because the next gesture is useless if you can't tell when it's driving us wild. Number 5, the pause before speaking. This one's underrated. Most guys rush to fill every silence, but a man who pauses for half a beat before answering, that's composure. It shows you're comfortable holding attention. You don't need to scramble for approval. Research from UCLA shows that people who pause before responding are perceived as more thoughtful and trustworthy. But there's a psychological power play happening too. You're controlling the rhythm of the conversation. That subtle dominance, we feel it. The pause also creates what's called anticipation tension. For that split second, we're wondering what you're going to say, and our attention sharpens. It's the same principle casinos use with slot machines. That brief delay before the result makes the payoff more satisfying. Paired with a subtle hand gesture, like briefly opening your palms, it projects calm authority. It's what we instinctively read as leader energy. Think Obama giving a speech. He never rushed to fill silence, and it made every word carry more weight. Number 4, the hand steeple. Fingertips pressed together while talking. That steeple position has been used by negotiators, CEOs, and yes, natural flirts. It's a power move without being aggressive. It says, I'm in control of myself and my space. The steeple is what body language researchers call a confidence display gesture. It takes up space without being obnoxious, and it forces you to slow down your hand movements. The result? You look more deliberate, more considered. Women clock these gestures instantly. They communicate confidence without bravado. There's also something almost prayer-like about the position. It suggests depth and introspection. We're hardwired to find thoughtful men attractive, because historically, they were better providers and protectors. Pro tip, avoid the reverse steeple, where your palms touch and fingers point down. That's the I'm plotting world domination version, and it reads as arrogant rather than confident. Number 3, the shoulder shrug and smirk combo. A one shoulder shrug with a faint smirk, playful, a little self-amused, and totally magnetic. This combination is psychological dynamite because it sends mixed signals in the best possible way. The shrug says no big deal, but the smirk suggests you know exactly what kind of deal it is. It's confident humility, probably the most attractive trait combination on the planet. This combination creates what Dominic Mann in Flirt Like a Pro calls flirt tension, that push-pull dynamic where we feel teased but safe. You're giving us permission to not take things too seriously while simultaneously showing your worth taking seriously. The one shoulder shrug specifically is crucial here. A two shoulder shrug reads as uncertainty or dismissal. One shoulder, that's casual confidence with the side of, I might be up to something. Number 2, the eye and half smile combo. This one, deadly. Locking eyes with a faint, knowing smile. Not a big grin, just enough to spark curiosity. Makes us feel singled out in the best possible way. The half smile is what facial coding experts call a controlled emotional display. It suggests you're feeling something, but choosing how much to reveal. That hint of mystery, it's catnip for the female brain. Neuroscientist Dr. Helen Fisher found that sustained eye contact triggers the release of phenylethylamine, the same chemical released when we fall in love. But pair that with a subtle smile, and you're creating what she calls an attraction cocktail. The eye contact builds intensity, while the smile keeps it playful. It's intimate, it's mysterious, and it leaves us wondering what you're thinking. The key is making it feel like a shared secret, like there's something happening between you two that nobody else would understand. Number 1. The space-claiming gesture. Finally, the king of subconscious attraction. Placing a hand casually on the back of your chair, standing with a wider, grounded stance, resting an arm across the back of a booth. These are what psychologists call territorial gestures. They subconsciously communicate dominance and ease in your environment. But here's what makes them so effective. They are passive displays of confidence. You're not actively trying to impress anyone. You're just comfortable being yourself. The wider stance, specifically, triggers what researchers call the high status perception bias. Studies show that people who take up more space are automatically perceived as more competent and attractive. It's primal programming from when physical presence actually meant survival advantage. The chair touch is particularly powerful because it creates what body language experts call an ownership illusion. You're not just sitting in that space. You belong there. And when we see someone who belongs somewhere, we instinctively want to belong there too. It's not about being flashy. It's about quietly owning your space. And trust me, we notice. A guy who needs to announce his presence is trying too hard. A guy who just naturally commands it, that's the difference between attractive and magnetic. Here's the thing. These gestures work because they're not performed. They're natural, subconscious displays of presence and confidence. And the more self-aware you become, the more these little cues will work in your favor. So, which of these do you think you're already doing without realizing? Drop it in the comments. I love reading your takes. And if this gave you some insight into what we're really picking up on, hit that like button, subscribe for more, and tune in for the next video. Until next time, pay attention, make your move, and own the moment.